Hello, I'm Mark Baer. You're watching the YourTown television program. My guest today, Christine Winge, Executive Director of AMP Media.
Yay, here we are.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
So just as before we get started, I'm a longtime board member of AMP. I've seen it over the years.
Sure.
And I was there when we had the nominating process after Paul Congo left, and we had to find a new director. And so I saw the applications,
all of them,
that
yes,
came in here.
Apparently worked quite
and
a few.
I saw the everybody was amazingly qualified that came up before, and you were the one that rose to the top. So that was
thank you.
That was really something.
Well, it's an honor to have been chosen.
And I'm happy you're here. So let's talk about the state of things.
Okay, the state of AMP. Well, I've been here almost a year now, so we've I think accomplished quite a bit in that period of time. We've done a lot of community outreach. That's been sort of my first focus, was to really address the issue of who are we? I mean, who do people, what do people think? What do they know about us? How can they use us more effectively? How can we just sort of enter into the community in a whole new way? That we hadn't really done before. I think before we were focused a lot on internal workings and making sure that our equipment was really up to date and up to speed, and that we had everything down. And then I think that's when Paul decided, okay, maybe it's my time to stop, because that's what I do best, and I don't need to do that anymore. And they needed somebody that could come in, or you needed somebody that could come in and basically start the outreach process and start sort of fine-tuning our admin operations as well as our community presence. So the state of things is that we have just really been doing a lot of that over the last year, and it's been very successful. We've been able to do a lot of programming that we weren't doing before.
So one of the issues is we have always done, I think, important work and good work here at AMP, but unfortunately, we're invisible. People see something that's coming over their television. They assume it exists. They'll assume it always exists.
Right.
They just assume it's, and then there's this issue of just being invisible behind that.
Yeah.
So invisibility, how do you combat that?
Well, it's a large problem, and we actually are sort of turning our focus in some ways toward the streaming side of things, because when we can produce content that is both broadcast and streamed, we can then tell the people that are coming on our shows, the people that are watching us, when they can see us, how they can see us, and give them some statistics on who's watching them when they're on the program. Unfortunately, we've had this problem with Comcast and AT&T where they don't let us know how many people actuwe are watching. We know because we get emails and letters.
So no analytics, no sponsors. It's difficult.
Right. So when we turn that more towards streaming and do both things, broadcast and streaming, then we can get more a better idea of all the people that are watching us, because we know there are a lot of people out there on the broadcast side, but we really know that they are there because we can see the numbers on the streaming side. So
on the outreach part of this, we're tending to, I know with the YourTown show, we want to go to more of a PBS model where community sponsored and highlight people from the community, and our the tagline we're looking at is "We Are Community." Yeah. And so this is going to start happening, and we'll do this probably AMP-wide.
Yes, it's a great idea. I mean,
and what all these years I've been involved, I'm just kind of starting to find out that it really does matter that we're here, and that what makes a dynamic community is the ability to highlight its people, highlight who we are, be cheerleaders for our community, show our diversity, show our greatness, and as a community strive for this, being proud of who we are, what we are, and showcasing.
And a connectedness, absolutely.
Yes.
And with everything going on in the world, and we don't have to talk politics at the moment, but we've got a lot of stuff out there that we see, our TVs, our radios, everything is blasting us with this stuff happening on a daily basis. it's really nice to be able to look at our community and say, wow, we're doing a great job hanging out. You know, we're really helping each other on this level or that level, and that matters. You know, we can take the focus off all the bad that's happening and the things that scare us and take it back to a more personal community level.
I had, for example, on this, I had Catholic Charities on a week ago, hearing what they're doing in the community.
Sure.
It was humbling.
Right.
Jeffrey Klein from Naval Postgraduate School brings some of the best and brightest people in America here to sit in, because they're in our community, telling what's going on in our community.
Sure.
There's so we are a great community, and we want to tell our story, and we're the place to tell that story.
Absolutely.
But we cannot be invisible. We have to start developing a bit of a personality, and that piece just never quite got done. And now with you here, that's been kind of your focus, making us, making the community aware and the community reach out.
I mean, we built the infrastructure,
Yes.
and now we're reaching out and telling everybody, hey, we want to be part of your mission. We want to be part of, we want to help you and partner with you to get your message across. So something like Catholic Charities. When I sat down and spoke to with their marketing person, I had no idea they were doing half the stuff they were doing. So getting them on television, and then again on the streaming side of things, how many more people are now aware of what they do? That we replicate, you know, over and over and over with other agencies in the area, other nonprofits, other for-profit events, or other community-based things, activities, or agencies.
And so community dynamism, this is kind of at the heart of what we are doing on just one level. Then plus you're showing the this is just one channel of AMP, but we also do the city council. We do everything. I mean, I'm going to let you tell people what we do.
Well, certainly we have this channel, and this is all curated content that is fabulous. We also, of course, broadcast all the city council meetings or other meetings that are related to the government in this area. And to be quite honest with you, when I was younger, and even today, some people say, well, that's really boring. Why are you doing that? Nobody wants to see it. And that's actually not true. We get a lot of people commenting on that. A lot of people are calling us trying to find out when the next meeting is, because sometimes people can't make it to a meeting for whatever reason. Maybe they are, they have a swing shift and they can't make it because they're at work. Maybe they have a disability, they can't make it because of that. But that is a huge service that we provide, and it's engaging our community, the members of our community, in the community process, right, in the community government. So that's that's the other channel that we have. And then, of course, there's our public access channel, where we have producers that come in and just want some minimal training, and they have some ideas and thoughts of what they want to put out there on to the community. And we try not to do a whole lot of censorship there, because it's really strictly for the community to use. And at the same time, you're not going to get certain things, and I'm sure we can imagine what those are.
And then one of the things before we came on air, we talked about it used to be access. Before it became community media, it was community access,
right,
which conjures up Wayne's World and this kind of people rambling in front of it. But it's come a long ways since then. The technology's got sophisticated. The producers have gotten sophisticated.
That's right, with it. Right.
There is a lot of very, very good informative programming that takes place on AMP.
I agree.
And letting people know that they can do this, that they can come in here. What a luxury for a community this is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your call to action for people, and how do you want them to get involved in the community and volunteer and all of that?
Well, one of the ways we're actually engaging the community is through the school systems. So we're bringing internship programs in, and we're also going out to schools to teach young students middle school and high school students, how to use the equipment and how to become their own producers so that they can produce something, come in here, maybe edit it, put it on our air. Another way that we like to engage the community is simply to have a call for action. I mean, let's get volunteers in here. Let's have people become members because they support what we're doing, right? So if you don't want to volunteer, if you don't have the time to come in and do that, you can become a member. You can donate to us. Simply because this is an important part of our community, not just to AMP per se, but because we are part of the community as a whole. And that's what I'm also trying to do. I'm trying to engage the community in that way. So come be a volunteer, help us out.
And then just for YourTown, for just this little show, we have 12 hosts.
Yeah.
And each of those hosts, we cover everything from Naval Postgraduate School to the business community to the arts community to lifestyle, wine, agriculture, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for people in those industries to step up and say, for instance, a Wendy Brody who does the food and a lot of, she represents the vineyards and she represents some of agriculture. I'm looking for somebody in ag to step up and say, please
great.
sponsor this show.
Yeah.
And shows like it. And if I'm looking to have more younger hosts on there. I'm looking to have education, somebody who does shows just so that they're highlighting education here in the community. But that becomes a little difficult for the individual if there isn't the sponsor behind that.
Sure.
And for
then
that,
we have to, keep the lights on.
For that sponsor, they can be on, their face can be on TV, their company can be on TV, doing good.
Yes.
This is kind of a great big art project. What we're doing here, the stuff never pencils out, nor is it designed to pencil out, and stuff that isn't totally profit motive in media anymore is a luxury.
Yes.
And you can't tell that enough. What sort of surprised you as you came on the job? I mean, you've had a heck of a year.
It's been a long year, but a very good one.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest challenge that we're facing right now is dealing with people changing their subscriptions from a cable-based subscription to internet-based television subscriptions. And since a lot of our funding comes from people subscribing to cable systems, we're wondering, okay, let's look at that shift and what kind of shift are we really looking at, and is that going to affect us in a large way in the next 5 years and 10 years, and what's happening? And so I've been reaching out to other community television stations and finding out what their plans are, what they're looking at doing. Just went back to the National Convention in Baltimore a few weeks ago where they were talking about different ideas for fundraising. And nobody wants to see this go away, these kinds of television stations go away, especially me. But at the same time, we have to prepare for what happens if the subscribers on cable just really all take off, and we have to replace a lot of money in order to keep our doors open. So that I think has been a big challenge. That's kind of been the biggest thing we've been dealing with this year.
Yeah. So you've been very good at meeting people. You've been out.
Yeah. Yes, a lot.
You're putting a new kind of a logo and a new face on it, and just trying to bring everybody up to date with what we're doing. And then one of the things that I'd like to just throw out is there's a lot of media people here from LA, from San Francisco that have moved to the community. I don't think if they haven't come into AMP to just kind of look around and see the possibilities of what can be done and how they can contribute and help create the dynamism that's so important, that makes a community work.
Yeah.
So I want to invite those people in and come meet you. And you know, when the great thing about AMP is the minute you're in the door, you really have a kind of a, oh, let's do this. Oh, we could do that. It's
yeah.
like wow, maybe this could happen.
It's a big sandbox.
Yeah, it's a big it's a big fun play kit,
Yeah,
you know, and I want people to know how much fun I have and how much fun there is to be in this and how powerful it is.
Yeah.
And that our community should be, you know, there's so many things to spotlight. And I see our community in terms of the rest of the country as a bit of a leader.
Yeah.
And our area, if you combine the agriculture with Salinas Valley, you can find Silicon Valley, and then our little part of the small pie of this, we represent a lot of hope for the country. Because when politics becomes broken, the community level and individuals have to regroup, and ideas have to come to somewhere. And you know, and I think so much is coming out of this area, and there's so much possibility, and you need a way to disseminate that information, and that's what AMP can be.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad you're reaching out into the Salinas Valley, because I'd love to incorporate that Salinas Valley piece into what we do.
It's a great thing that's going on there. And so we are reaching out to that more, and the more of the pieces we put together and show how they interact, it gives you a truer picture of where we are. And what you really, what's great about people who move here is many have gone out in the world, have accomplished in the world, and are coming now back here, and they're bringing their skills.
Yes.
And we want those skills, and we want to encourage those skills.
Absolutely. Especially on TV.
On TV. TV's fun.
It is.
You know, and so we want people to figure out how to pay for it, how to make it viable, and then on the production end, how to make it great. And I'm seeing that it works. We are having an effect.
Definitely, definitely true.
So I'm going to let you have the last sign off here as we close this out.
Come volunteer for AMP. Come be part of us. We are doing some wonderful things.
Okay, and the website ampmedia.org.
Yes.
And so great. We'll get them in here, and welcome to AMP. You've been great. It's been a great year.
Yes,
you've brought a lot of energy.
Great. Looking forward to many more.
We're going to have, you know, this. Be part of this.
And
be community.
Thank you for everything you do.
Well. So anyway, you're watching the YourTown show. My guest has been Christine Winge, Executive Director of AMP Media. AMP Media, yeah. And ampmedia.org is the website, and we'll be back.